Chad, I do have a couple questions from the
Sure.
community. Um, okay, this is something that I had been getting blown up on all week. Okay. And I'm getting blown up by people on X who are not even necessarily part of a THORChain. They're figuring out THORChain, they're looking. The question typically is when Monero. Now, that's not the real question I want to ask you, when Monero, because I know we've talked about that before. But this is coming from a node operator. I don't want to say who they are. You could probably easily figure out who it is. But the main question is, a lot of people are asking about Monero. The libraries have since improved since Black Protocol it came about, right? Um, can we add Black Protocol code that the libraries improve? Can we have the return of Heimdall, an OG dev of THORChain? Maybe some people don't know who he is, absolute legend. Do you think that is something that can happen, the return of Heimdall for this one task? That's
Uh,
the question.
for people who don't know, Heimdall and I were like really like the two technical devs on Thorchain in the very beginning. And so like, him and I have known each other for a long time and we worked closely together for many years. And a great engineer. The guy is like really great at like, especially like tracking down bugs and doing like root cause analysis. Like he's fantastic at that. He's really, really good. And I remember like years ago, he was working with JP to put together like a, a branch on GitLab, where it does like the Monero support stuff, which is like a ton of work because you have to add so much complexity to THORChain to support. It's not as simple as just like adding another chain in the typical sense. Like you need to like figure out like view keys and like it's like a really complicated thing, which is really why you probably haven't seen a lot of Monero like in other competing dexes like Near or Chainflip, because it's very, very technically complex, and it also comes with like arguably the highest like concerns from like a government perspective because they don't like Monero for obvious reasons. Um, yeah, so Heimdall's like he's still like around in the sense that like he's not working on THORChain, hasn't worked on for quite a while, but he's still like friendly with the project. Convincing him to come back to contribute to this one thing is not far fetched. I don't know if he'd do it or not, but it's not too far fetched. In terms of like using the multi-sig capabilities that's built in Monero, if the devs are saying that it's now safe, because back last time I looked at it, the devs are recommending to not use their own multi-sig. They said that there was just too many exploits, too many issues. I'm hesitant to do that. I mean, I prefer just to use the same cryptographic system we've been using the whole time that we know is with a very great deal of confidence that it's very safe and secure because it's been around for so many years. And there is an interest to like we like to move away from TG20 towards something called DKLS, which is a newer cryptography that's even more secure than the G20 in my opinion. That is definitely like a long term goal of the project. When is Monero gonna get launched? I don't it's hard to say. Hopefully this year. But it's a matter of like prioritization. Like what's the top 5 most important things to work on? Is Monero in that list? Probably not with like, intense and not from my perspective of an intense and what's it called? Opt-in security, which is probably a requirement to get Monero going is opt-in security because Monero is such a like a there's a lot of contention around whether or not we should add Monero. Like historically, we've always kind of like been a hot debate in the community. I've always been a supporter myself. But once you have opt-in security, that kind of removes the conflict around adding it or not adding it because it has each individual validator can just choose to support Monero or not, and then it will just work just fine. Um, I don't know. I'm okay with Protocol if the funds are small. Like if the pool is shallow and doesn't get to like the Bitcoin pool size. I think I'd be okay with it if it's a shallow pool. If it had like a couple $100,000 in it, yeah, I think I'd be okay with that because even if there was some sort of exploit, we're not losing millions of dollars. We're losing a couple 100,000 at most.
I sent.
So
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, Chad. I sent you the link um, you don't have to look at it right now, of the specific point in question, because your point was excellent, because we don't want to distract the current devs from what they're doing. That's why the node operator 1 node of Heimdall would make a legendary return. I don't know if you saw that thread in dev Discord in the general section, where basically it's like 20 plus people just chanting out Heimdall's name. The whole list of people was so cool to see. Um, so that's kind of what they want to distract, because you're right. And if we could have him to come back and just give it a shot, because I am seeing this absolutely everywhere. I'm having people reach out to me. People want Monero on THORChain. They really it's really hotly asked for right now.
Yeah. No, I get it, and I want it too. I've been advocating it myself for a long time, you know? Getting Heimdall to come on, that's something I'd have to reach out to him, or JP and I would have to have a conversation with him and see if he's willing to step back in the fold, and I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know if he's busy or not busy or what. Like, I don't know what that is, but possibly. I can't say it one way or the other. I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Of course, of course. Yeah, no pressure on you whatsoever. But that's the question. It's a hype train right now. Everyone has just got thirsty for Heimdall for for some reason. So I sent you their link to of the thread. It's just really funny. I just love how spontaneous that was.